where men and women are definitely not equal. You may be surprised to hear that it is in their ability to drink alcohol safely. And it's not just a question of body size. Recent research reveals specific differences between male and female bodies that make alcohol much more potent to women. As Dr. Nancy Snyderman tells us, drinking can have deadly implications for women. And you will be astonished to see how little alcohol it takes.
Women have been catching up with men. In the military, on the mean streets, in sports, and in the business world. And sometimes climbing the corporate ladder means knocking them back at the bar.
Because I'm in finance, I think that I fall in that category. And I find that when I take a client or a prospect out to dinner or to lunch, if I was to say, oh no, I'll have an iced tea, they'd be like, oh yeah, you're fun.
But as a woman in a man's field, if you don't drink with them, you're not one of the boys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definite pressure there.
But we're anything but equal when it comes to the effects of alcohol. And what women don't know about alcohol may kill us. After years of research, doctors have discovered that in terms of health, women pay a much higher price for that glass of wine than men. Our risk of cancer and damage to organs like the liver and heart are higher, and women who drink heavily increase their risk of dying by a factor of 4 compared to men who drink the same amounts. Why? Doctors are discovering some surprising reasons Jane never knew.
I think along with the warning and disclaimers that come on alcohol bottles that ought to say, you know, warning, women beware, do not drink.
Jane began drinking when she was 23 during her first year in law school, and she was quickly up to several drinks a day.
I thought that I was too young to get any kind of a disease from alcohol. I mean, cirrhosis, that happens when you're, you know, when you're declining years after years and years of heavy drinking.
She was wrong. Amazingly, just 6 months after she started drinking, she had her first attack of pancreatitis. The alcohol was causing the pancreas to destroy itself. It may have been her gender that made alcohol's effects so severe.
Ounce per ounce for the same time of exposure, women were probably at a greater risk for damage from alcohol than men. Jane's had what I would describe as severe chronic pancreatitis. Her pancreas is basically a piece of wood. That's what's left.
I have a tube that was surgically inserted.
Jane, now 39, relies on a permanent feeding tube implanted in her stomach to supply her with the nutrition she needs to stay alive. With the risk of developing pancreatic cancer looming, she has stopped drinking. Why is alcohol more dangerous for women? Well, if you guess that it's because women are usually smaller than men, you're wrong. The newest research points to internal physiological differences that seem to add up. Differences in the amount of an enzyme that helps break down alcohol. Differences in the amount of body fat. Differences that mean that when a woman holds an alcoholic beverage in her hand, it's a lot more dangerous than when a man does.
So everybody just holler out your answer.
But surprisingly, very few women are aware of their increased risk, as you'll see.
Alcohol affects your immune system.
True.
We got together a group of 5 women to find out what they thought they knew.
Mixing different alcoholic beverages, beer, wine, and whiskey, in the same evening will make you sick.
True.
False. What are the good things you've heard about alcohol?
It's good for your heart, a glass of wine a night. That's the good stuff that I've heard. I haven't heard anything else that's good.
How about the bad stuff?
Well, it's bad for your heart. It's bad for your liver. It's bad for everything if it's over. Everything in moderation.
True for men, but when it comes to alcohol, even what seems like moderation can be physically harmful for women. We wanted to see just how differently men's and women's bodies respond to alcohol, so we set up a test.
So you guys are here to have 3 drinks over the course of 1/2 hour.
Dr. Derry Fiorentino and Dr. Candace Wilkinson from the Southern California Research Institute administered our test.
129? 128.
Our panel of 5 women and 5 men all describe themselves as social drinkers, and they're all between the ages of 21 and 36.
Now, what are you trying to accomplish here? You're putting 1.5 ounces of vodka in each of these drinks?
After standardized drinks, the breathalyzers, and the familiar blood alcohol number that tells the highway patrolman if you're legally drunk or not. In California, where we conducted our test, if your BAC reading is higher than .08, you're over the limit. Drink number 1 is served.
Cheers.
There you go.
I want to propose a toast to Dr. Nancy Snyderman in 2020 for getting us drunk on TV.
Start sipping slowly. Each drink you'll have 10 minutes, no slamming. We know that, you're drinking it faster, you're going to be more behaviorally impaired.
By the third drink, 25 minutes later, it is evident the alcohol has taken effect. The testers become louder and much more chatty, which is one reason why people, especially women, say they drink.
Look how everyone's drinking and how everyone has become very social with everyone else. Previous to that, we were like all sitting, no one talked to anyone.
You should be halfway through that last drink, 5 more minutes.
After all 3 drinks are finished, we wait about 30 minutes for the alcohol to be fully absorbed. This is when the testers will be at their peak intoxication levels.
Taking a deep breath and blow. Thank you.
What were the differences between men and women?
I feel like I could get in my car, no problem right now, and drive myself home. I would in a heartbeat.
For one thing, the women didn't realize how much they'd been affected, and that means that women may habitually be drinking more than they want to. And all the women were drunk. Across the board, 3 drinks put the women above the legal limit, with scores ranging from .082 to .099. The men were all below the limit, scores ranging from .042 to .064. And it wasn't a matter of size. Compare Kimberly and Mike. They're the same height, and Mike is just a few pounds heavier. Yet Mike's peak score was only .055. Kimberly's was .082, legally drunk.
Why the difference?
Even if you give alcohol to a man and a woman relative to their body weight, the woman's still going to be more affected.
Sharon Wilsnack has been studying the effects of alcohol and gender for the last 15 years. She says part of the reason that women's bodies are hit harder is what our bodies are made of.
Overall, somewhat less of women's bodies are made up of water. And so when they drink, then the concentration of alcohol in their bodies is stronger.
And it turns out, drink for drink, more of the alcohol gets into our blood.
Now, an additional factor that's been discovered fairly recently has to do with the stomach. And it appears that women have a little bit less of a certain enzyme that starts to break down alcohol in the stomach, so that if not as much gets broken down, then more goes into their bloodstream.
So as soon as I drink,
Right.
and the alcohol gets into my stomach, it immediately starts to be degraded by this enzyme.
Right. But men have a bit more of the enzyme than women do, so a bit more of the alcohol gets broken down for men.
In the meantime, mine's just getting right into my bloodstream?
Right, yours is going right into your bloodstream, and then it's going off to your brain and your liver and your other body organs, and going to have a stronger effect throughout your body because the concentration is stronger.
But what does that undiluted alcohol heading straight into the bloodstream do to a woman? Nancy Snyderman will be back in a moment with some dramatic findings.
The test is over. The men can go. How much longer will it take the women to sober up after 3 drinks? The answer will astound you when 2020 continues.
Time to get washed. Daddy's almost home. Honey, can you wash your feet? Hey, I hear Daddy.
Hey, guys! Hi.
Hey, honey.
Okay, let's eat.
Hey, where are the fries?
What, no fries? I can't believe Daddy forgot the fries. I'll go get some more. Some.
Hurry back. Fry breath.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Introducing the new full-size Toyota Tundra with the most stress-resistant frame in its class and over 2,000 pounds of available payload capacity. The Tundra is tough enough to do the work of some of the biggest trucks on Earth. And it's a lot easier to park. The new 4-door Toyota Tundra. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough?
You did it again, didn't you?
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Hey, where can I freshen up?
Clairol Herbal Essences is changing shampooing from a chore to an all-out joy.
Yes! 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 So is my car ready?
It'll be a little while longer.
Herbal Essences, a totally organic experience.
He works in Washington, she works in Washington. They get together on the weekends for as little as 2.5 cents a minute. Who says people in Washington are out of touch? Call Sprint at 1-800-PIN-DROP now.
How come you do me like you do? How come you do me
Even if you can't always treat your wood furniture with kid gloves, always treat it to Pledge. Because Pledge does what's right for your wood. Its conditioners care for and protect it far longer than dusting sprays. So treat your furniture like you do. Just let Pledge do your furniture right. S.C. Johnson Wax.
2020, now in its 20th anniversary year, winner of over 300 prestigious awards for excellence in broadcast journalism.
Tonight, looks can be deceiving.
I am a completely pacifist, nonviolent guy. I guess it's the shaved head and the tattoos that made me a little edgy.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher.
His heart's badly damaged. He needs a better heart. I've got to be strong for him.
NYPD Blue, ABC Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
Next Thursday, he had a loving wife, a beautiful home, the ideal life. Everyone thought they knew him until he simply vanished. Where his journey took him is what legends are made of. Vanished, coming to ABC next Thursday at 10, 9 Central.
I just want to celebrate, yeah, yeah.
Now's the time to celebrate, America. It's the Great American Ford Celebration. Great American savings on Great American Ford cars and trucks, like the fully loaded Ford Explorer XLT, America's #1 selling sport utility. Just $339 a month with a $999 down payment. A loaded 4x4 with remote keyless entry, a CD player, and more. Just $339 a month with a $999 down payment. Celebrate with the Great American Ford Celebration. Get to your Quality Plus Ford dealer today. Celebrate!
How long do you think it takes you to sober up after 3 drinks? The answer depends on whether you're a man or a woman. We return now to Dr. Nancy Snyderman's report on women and alcohol.
As we told you earlier, alcohol is more damaging ounce for ounce in women than in men. And it's not just a matter of body size. Women have less of the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase, which helps break down alcohol before it gets into the bloodstream. And as women age, the enzyme we do have deteriorates, allowing more and more straight, undiluted alcohol into our systems, which may cause serious damage to our bodies that many of us aren't aware of.
Have any of you heard a correlation between drinking alcohol and breast cancer? Steph, what have you heard?
I can't tell you in specific. I've just heard that there is a correlation.
So this is the basic alcohol study menu.
Dr. Joe Judd, a leading researcher in the field of nutrition, has been studying the effects of alcohol on women. The results from his most recent study are alarming.
Yes. The risk of breast cancer seems to be related to moderate intake, not really to excessive levels of alcohol intake. The levels that we're looking at in our study are equivalent to like 1 to 2 drinks of alcohol per day.
That's right. Even in moderation, alcohol may increase women's risk for breast cancer. Dr. Judd found that during a woman's menstrual cycle, alcohol can change estrogen levels, a change which has been widely linked to breast cancer.
If we look at the bad things that can happen to the human body with regards to liver damage,
cancer, premature aging. Can you break down between men and women who is at more risk for certain things?
Women will develop alcoholic hepatitis or cirrhosis, the most severe form of liver disease. They'll develop it earlier than men and at a lower level of alcohol consumption, but other things too, cardiomyopathy, the weakening of the cardiac muscle. It appears that women are more vulnerable when they drink heavily.
Who thinks that they are below 0.04?
Back at our test, we wait to see how long it will take our testers to metabolize the alcohol. To get it out of their bodies, again, the women are the losers.
Actually, only Brett.
The men, whose bodies have eliminated the alcohol, are free to go.
Now, what are we supposed to do?
You stay, and I'll keep taking BSC readings.
As responsible hosts, we won't let the women go until their blood alcohol levels drop.
Okay, Tracy, Kimberly, Stephanie, and Catherine, you can leave.
It took about 2 hours. Last to go was Kat, our high scorer of the night with a peak level of .099. It took Kat approximately 6 hours to metabolize the alcohol from those 3 drinks. The medical message? An empty glass may be full of trouble, especially if you're female.
Wow. So, are you going to stop drinking?
Well, I don't drink a lot. I mean, just a little bit of wine, as you know, because we've been together sometimes, but I think from now on I may just concentrate on iced tea, now that I've read this report. But to make things more confusing, moderate drinking can lower a woman's risk of stroke. So I guess each of us has to weigh the risks and the benefits of drinking, and that could be a very sobering thought. We'll be right back.